So here in the basement, it consists of a very large kitchen, which kind of doubles as a living room. And as you can see, it has this hearth with a log burner. And one of the modifications I've had made to the house by the builders is to have this, the chimney breast knocked all the way through into the other room. Just go and take a look at that. So there's a little room which joins onto the kitchen, which I've converted into a utility room. If we just come around here, we'll see that the log burner has two doors, one for each room. So this log burner heats the kitchen and this utility room quite easily. Now the reason why I've done that is because, let's just say I wanted to stop using gas for my central heating. I could live down here because we have kitchen, living area, utility room, and we can convert this room into a bedroom. So what you could do is only heat the basement and live in the basement and switch the gas off altogether, and in the winter just allow the top two floors to go cold. So if you're sleeping down in the basement without any central heating, how are you going to control the temperature? Well, this log burner has a night mode, so what you can do is get it powered up, get it filled full of fuel, and then if you just push that in and push the other one all the way to the left, that will give a very slow burn, right? So it will still be lit in the morning. It's going to cool down a little bit, but that's what you want when you go to bed anyway. You get up in the morning and then you just fire it up again with more logs. So this is where I keep all of the fuel for the log burner. So we've got coal and logs. The coal I get from a local merchant in 25 kilo bags, and they're £7.50 each. The wood I source all myself. You can get wood if you know where to look for it and you know who to ask. You can get wood free. As you can see, I'm a bit low on wood, so I'm going to go and find some today and chop it up later on. So hopefully this will be full by the end of today. There are lots of places where you can get free wood. There's internet websites, I think Free Cycle is one, and there's Facebook groups where people are just throwing stuff out. One thing I've had a lot of is people who are getting rid of their decking. So wooden decking that has maybe been put in 10 years ago, they're getting rid of it. The builders that I had in doing work on my house, since they finished the job, they know that I've got a log burner, and whenever they have a job where they want rid of a load of wood, they just dump it in the side alley here, because they know that I'll chop it up and use it in my log burner. So I've probably had 4 big lots of wood from the builders. When you're just driving around the town, like a few weeks ago, there were some roofers who were working on a roof 3 doors down, and they had a skip and it was full of the roofing battens. So I just said to the roofers, look, do you need that wood? He said, oh, do you want it? I said, yeah. He says, oh, I'll take it out the skip for you. Where do you want me to put it? Right? And then he gave me a free bag of nails for taking his wood off him. So you're driving around, you just keep your eye out for wood. Like if someone's taking a porch down, or I mean, if you get wood from inside a house, like floorboards or walls or whatever, it's ideal because it's dry as sticks. I built this log bin about a year after I got the house, so it's been here for 5 years and it's still really sturdy. You can buy them at B&Q, but it's more fun making one. Also made this frame for cutting the logs. I got a photograph off the internet and just copied the design of it. Just screwed it together. So it's really helpful, this, if you're cutting the logs by hand. So the place where I'm going to today, it's out in the Brecon Beacons. Paul told me about this. Paul is a chap who I sometimes drink with in the pub. He's well up on all things to do with logs and chainsaws. So he said, oh, there's a huge area, it's like a football pitch, just with wood lying there. Now this wood, it's been there for over a year, and I drove past it the other day and it's still there. So I'm going to go and help myself now and then chop it up, and hopefully this log bin will be full, within a few hours time. You might think that in order to do this sort of thing you have to live out in the sticks, out in the country. Well, that's not true, because I live in a big town Merthyr Tydfil, there's Domino Pizzas. I live about 1 minute walk from a huge Tesco. Got my own little vegetable patch, and Tesco is like a minute walk. So this is the place that Paul told me about, bigger than a football pitch, I'd say, and there's just dead wood lying around all over the place, and as I said, it's been here for over a year. So I've got my saw, I'm just going to start, well, chopping it up into bits that'll fit into the truck. Okay, that didn't take long, and there's plenty of other places like this where you can come and get free wood. It's amazing to think that people go into Tesco's and they get a tiny little bag of wood like that and they pay £5 for it when it's just lying around all over the place. So I'm going to saw these logs now into manageable pieces. Yeah, I think if I was using the log burner considerably more and I was chopping more wood, I would get myself a chainsaw. I did have one, but I got rid of it. I didn't trust myself with it. But my friend Paul, he's got one. It's one hand. So you can hold the wood with one hand and then cut it with the other, right? It's like a mini chainsaw. He would get through this in a couple of minutes, like. But it's a good workout. One little accident with a chainsaw, you know, you've got to be really careful using them. Right, so I've now got all the wood in the log bin. Some of it isn't fully cut yet. These pieces here, which I'll cut on another day, and these pieces are cut to size, ready for the log burner. Gone in there now. What about cooking off-grid? Well, as I've explained, everything electrical in the house is free. I'm generating my own power, so that is off-grid. The microwave, the fridge, the toaster, the kettle, and also the electric oven. There's also an electric grill in there, so all of that is off-grid. The only thing that is not off-grid is this gas hob. Now I could quite easily replace this gas hob with an electric one, right? But I prefer cooking with gas, but it's non-essential. I've also got the log burner where I can boil vegetables and boil eggs. I wouldn't want to fry on there, but I've also got the option of going out onto the patio and starting the barbecue up so we can grill and fry stuff on that. When I bought the house, this alleyway was in a really bad way. It was completely overgrown. The bushes were as high as this roof right the way along the alleyway. So I removed all of that, and I removed quite a lot of earth in doing that as well. So I've got a photograph here of what it looked like after I'd tidied it up. Okay, so we can do a comparison now. And just last year I started sort of landscaping it, really making use of it. Now my property ends where this drain pipe is, and this wall which runs along the alleyway was in very bad shape. There was no cement in it, all the mortar was rotten, there was a lot of weeds and undergrowth just growing right out of it. So the structure of that wall was being compromised by everything that was growing through it. So it took me about 3 weeks and I cemented the entire wall. It's not my wall, I don't know who owns it, but in order to tidy up this area, I needed to get the cement in this wall. Now the main building work I had done last year on the property was to have this opening made. So this was a solid wall, and as you can see I've got patio doors in there. And what that's done is given me access to the back alley, and I've converted the back alley into a small allotment and I'm growing vegetables there now. I also built a concrete patio outside here, and I've covered it with fake grass. So it's a nice little area to sit. It's a bit of a sun trap there. In order to brighten the place up, I've painted a mural along my neighbour's wall here, which is a row of Welsh cottages, and on the end I've put a Newcastle pub, or a Gateshead pub. It's the Central Bar. Some viewers might know it. I used to drink there now and again, a really old-fashioned Gateshead pub, and I've added the Newcastle Brewery's blue star on there just to remind me of home, and also to remind me what it's like to be in a pub. I built this little shed for my son, who is 6, so he calls it his base. Now, the roof here, there's a pub a few doors up, and it was refurbishing the men's toilets, and they were ripping out the walls for the toilets. So the roof is actually made from the panelling in the gents' toilets that was taken out of the pub. When I got the property, I boarded out half of the loft and put carpet in it. This half is unboarded. Now, I've got rats in this loft, and I've been trying to get rid of them. At first, I just put some traps out. I caught 6 rats. But obviously, that's not going to solve the problem. So what I did was I put a camera up here to find out where they're coming in. And I managed to find their entrance point. I blocked that with wire wool and cement. That stopped them coming in that entrance point. Then there was another entrance point which was just below or connected to that point, so I blocked that one. That cleared it for about a week, and then they were coming in from the other side then. So I've got a camera on that place where they're coming in. I still haven't worked out where the hole is where they're coming in. So I keep moving the camera around so I can see when they come in, and there's alarm goes off in my office, so I've got a motion sensor on it. So their days are numbered. I just got to keep going like this and blocking off all the different holes. I've been in my neighbour's loft because it's connected, and I've blocked a hole up in his loft as well. But I'll get there in the end. When I had the kitchen patio doors put in, it was evident that there was a lot of water coming in the wall cavity, so that water's obviously been coming in for years and years, and putting that hole in the kitchen wall just revealed the problem. So I've been trying to find out how the water is getting into the kitchen. So in order to do that, I dismantled this wall. You can see here, I took all these bricks out, and I couldn't be bothered to build the whole wall back, so I put a couple of car tyres in there and just bricked round them, thus adding this feature in my side patio. So what you can see through that window is the Welsh Assembly government offices, which deal with European funding and healthcare inspection, I think. So let me just position the camera so you can see it. So there we have it, through the round window, the Welsh Assembly offices. God knows what they're doing there all day. Let's come on to food now. As I showed in the film, I've started growing some food, but this really is a tiny portion of what would be required for one person. I've seen estimates that an acre of land is required for providing the food for one person. An acre of land is the size of half a football pitch. Although I haven't produced much of my own food, I have created a food bank. I currently have about 1 year's supply of food in storage. Food should be stored in a dry place. I found a few large spaces in the house and fitted them with shelves. Beds sometimes have large cavities inside that are useful for storing food. You can find information online about the best foods that can be stored for long periods. Here is a spreadsheet I drew up which gives a suggested food bank content that could feed a person for up to a year. Creating a food bank is not self-sufficiency, however. If the price or supply of food was to become unstable, a food bank is ideal for supplying shortfalls in the short and medium term. Another potential source of food that I've considered is wild fish. I researched this subject with a very simple question in mind, which was this: how easy is it to catch fish free of charge in the UK, take them home and eat them, or freeze them and then eat them? I didn't realise that such a simple question was fraught with so many complications, regulations and laws. I gave up after a while, concluding that it is essentially illegal for various reasons. If anyone can give me a simple, straight answer to this question or a way of getting round it, I'd be very grateful. I could also mention rabbits and other wild animals. Anyone with any ideas, please let me know. Good morning. Now here's something we still have in Wales that you might not have in England. Let's come on to clothes now. The only thing I'm going to say about this is that if you're prepared to buy second-hand clothes, which I've been doing for over 10 years now, you can get half-decent stuff for peanuts from car boot sales and charity shops. Car boot sales are a very good idea if you want to perhaps swap items without any money changing hands. Now, communications, as I said earlier, really is a luxury. It's not an essential need. This is a highly complex area that has been covered in many previous Richplanet episodes. Communication with the system is non-essential, especially if you are already providing all of the above yourself. It's unhealthy to watch television, so why not save yourself the trouble of buying a license and throw the TV out or sell it? Is the internet and a mobile phone essential? They are not essential for you, but they are essential if the system is going to keep control of you. The system needs communication with you more than you need it from the system. However, do think about making communication with like-minded people, which does not pass through the system. Why do you think pubs are still not back to normal? Communication with you from the system is often toxic and controlling and is organised by criminals. What about employment? Do you need employment from the system? Well, the great thing about self-sufficiency is that if you can provide all of the above to yourself, then you'll need very little money and therefore very little employment. Similarly, you will not need to give your labour to the system. You can sit in the sun and wait for your vegetables to grow. And we come on to money. Again, this has been covered in previous shows. In particular, look at show number 287, Money That Spends Itself. The main purpose of money is as a means of exchange. It allows you to exchange what you don't need with things that you do. It is also a store of value. If a community of like-minded people is going to turn away from the system, they will still need a means of exchange and a useful store of value. Rather than passing money back and forward from the system, they will trade with each other using their own currencies that are not part of the system. This is something I've been thinking about a lot recently. How are people going to trade with each other outside of the criminal central banking cartel that is planning to make its own smart money compulsory for every person on the planet? Will cryptocurrency provide the answer? I'm not sure that's the answer, because you ultimately need the internet to be able to do that, which is owned by the system. I have come up with a solution to this age-old problem, a new currency which has intrinsic value, it is durable and sought after. It's the Frebentos Pi coin. All right. Each Freya Bentos pi would be a unit of currency with a current sterling exchange rate of £2 per pi. You would need quite a large wallet, so this is the wallet, the Freya Bentos pi wallet. You could use tins of tuna would be £1.50 coins, or worth £1.50. I'm only half joking about this, because if food could be compressed somehow into small manageable units, it would be the ideal alternative currency. Food for thought. Now, the problem about the money that the system is going to try and provide you with in the future is that it's going to completely change in its nature. This is what people haven't been told yet. Smart money is very bad news. CBDC is very bad news. The central banks will be controlling fiscal policy, because fiscal policy will be inside or part of the money itself. When they say smart money, they mean smart in the eyes of their system. They don't really mean smart. When they say that prices and markets will be determined by artificial intelligence, they don't mean real intelligence. They mean intelligence in the eyes of their system. You see, their system believes that the COVID scam is a real pandemic. Their system believes global warming and climate change are a real threat. Their system believes governments aren't capable of terrorism. Their system believes you are a minion and needs to be controlled by making you dependent on everything their system provides. Now, there are still a few more things I need to add to this list. The first is injections. The system is giving most of its dependents injections. They are not vaccinations. They are injections. Are you enjoying them? They're going to go on for some time. Another thing to look forward to in the future is social credits. A system of control which is a social engineer's dream. If you don't know what they are or aren't bothered about them, you need to go and jump off a large building. And don't forget about the global digital ID system, a system that will digitally identify you, record everything you do, track everywhere you go, and clamp down on you if you overstep any of the system's arbitrary parameters. If you continue to have your needs met by the system, you will be forced to take employment, or indeed forced to receive social engineering in the form of counselling, education and advice, which will be administered increasingly in an online realm, where your interaction with their system is via a smartphone or a computer. See Alison McDowell's work on this. These devices are stepping stones to you being directly connected to their system via a brain interface. In order to get you hooked up to their system, which is run by criminals, they need you to receive all the needs that the system provides. They don't want you providing yourself with your own needs. And they don't want people providing needs to each other without going via their system. Their CBDC, smart money, universal basic income system. Global communism. They will tell you they are trying to save the planet. They will tell you they are trying to save humanity. These are the lies of criminals who are interested in one thing, which is complete control of the human race. Now, if you think I'm a bit of a nutter for doing all this, I just want you to bear in mind, I have no mortgage or rent. I have no debt or loans. I have no electric bill. I do not pay for a TV license. I do not pay for Sky or any other propaganda. I do not pay for home or buildings insurance. My gas bill is small because my free electric heats my water and I can heat part of my property using wood from a log burner. I have a year's supply of food and I am growing my own food. The only nutters are those who are increasing their dependence on a system run by criminals, not those who are freeing themselves from it. Now that I've taken steps to free myself, hopefully I will have more free time to carry out further Richplanet investigations into the crimes of our media, the crimes of our government, and the crimes of the globalists who are running the scamdemic. Protect yourself and free yourself from the draconian system that is being built around you right now. Believe none of what you hear and only half of what you see. I'm Richard D. Hall. Good night.